Yeah, I love hearing it because we're not alone. Let me put it that way. And
we like structure, we like rules to follow by, but when they're deviated from this, and we're finding this all over the state, there's common ground. And when you challenge it, hence Republicans in bad standing, and they weaponize the system to isolate really good people that are going to represent either their constituents or the values within their community.
we're actually the working Republicans.
We are.
It's really sad that they kicked us out because we would have been not the ones sitting in the corner and say,
But Cheryl, we recruited, you don't know this, we recruited 94 of the 134 precinct committeemen in Vanderbilt County, and we got the people in there, and we were vilified and thrown out of the party because we took action.
Sure. They thought we were going to
So let me ask the two of you this. So
yeah, why don't you interview?
Yes.
So let me ask the two of you this. So since that time, when you've been,
Right.
labeled as an independent Republican,
Mhm.
tell me, have you asked or filed to run for another seat?
No, I have not, but
I did.
Okay.
And I actually had a conversation with the current county chairman who said, I don't have a problem with this, which I filed the document. And the county clerk, which her name is Dottie Thomas, when I filled out the
Who is the
paperwork,
vice.
who's also the vice chairman, she sits on the election board. She filed a complaint with the sheriff's office against me. There's this major contradiction. And then I was supposed to go to a hearing and I never got a notice. They had the hearing without getting due process.
We have that in Madison County too.
Due process, and I missed this hearing.
why does everybody know about how long it takes to mail something other than them?
Right.
It's on purpose.
It's absolutely, it's all a ploy, right? Well, here's what I want to say. If I were you guys, I would keep applying. So here's the thing. I knew in 2022 that they were going to challenge me,
Yes.
right?
Do you think it started in 2022? Because I think I didn't hear about this kind of thing before
Oh,
that.
no, these guys were doing it, but
They're on
I was the
steroids.
only one that was able to get it out on display. So in 2022, I'm like, what is the least position that I can do that I can do this just to kind of bring it all out?
What'd you do, state delegate?
Delegate.
Did you?
Right?
I'm going to tell you something then.
Yeah.
You remember on 2022? Were you there?
No,
You didn't win.
No, I
Okay.
got challenged. In 2022, I got challenged.
Okay.
But yet he signed off on 6 other people,
Right.
So that were Democrats. So he signs off on them, but he challenges me. I'm like, this is perfect because there's nothing about me that takes this away and says, I'm sad about this. What it does is it says, this is how broken and abused the process is, right?
Yes,
So that's why it's like with you guys. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it anyways. So I did it. I got challenged, gave me more fame, I guess. And so then in 24, I'm like, hey, they thought I'll run for coroner. I'm like, why would I run for coroner? It's so much more fun to run for auditor and follow the money, right? So I go and I run for auditor, and I supposedly I lost by 500 votes, but none of us are ever going to know because if you watch the county election board meeting when they duped the people watching it and they made up ballots and forced them through, like we have it on video.
Oh, the tabulator.
Yeah, and they made the numbers match whatever they wanted, but yet they said they were missing 3 critical ballots and arrested Larry because they were missing them. I mean, that's how crazy this thing is. And so I'm like, yeah, so like somebody said, they're watching the numbers as they're coming in. We need federal oversight. My opponent absolutely is against federal oversight. I'm all about it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all about federal oversight because it's crooked all the way around. So, so I would encourage you and any of these viewers, put it in just to see what they're going to do, right? I mean, that's the whole goal.
Well, now they've weaponized it again. I filled out my paperwork, and the county clerk then, they're wanting to investigate me and charge me with a crime.
What would be the crime?
I don't know. I meet all the criteria. I'm a
That's what I mean.
Republican in bad standing, and so they're trying to intimidate me and doing this process. However, our own county clerk, Dottie Thomas, has committed an infraction based upon the law where she was actually in the polling places counting ballots, and it says it in the law, you cannot do this. There's no waiver. There's no resolution that can be provided, and she has to investigate herself. It's not going anywhere. Hello.
And that's what people ask us, who do they answer to? So this is my answer to everybody. They answer to the voters.
That's right.
That's
I
right.
blame the voters for allowing this to continue. It's the voters who are the problem. And hey, everybody's like, well, Catherine needs votes. Why would she say that? It's the truth. If we do not get people to the polls, it's got to be more than us.
Right.
Our citizens have to say, Catherine's right. I got to talk to all my family members. I've got to get, them talking to everybody. And it's the thing. Tell one person, ask them to tell 10 people. And go on, and everybody's challenging everybody. And then by the end, we win. And that's how the change occurs.
Mhm.
But if the voters do not cast educated votes, and we do not share information and really get people on this movement, we're never going to be able to beat the process.
Part of it's apathy though, too, because the end result is not what we're expecting. We expect common sense, we expect them to follow the rule of law, and it's not happening. And so people get apathy and say, well, what does it matter?
Right.
There's no
And then they
oversight.
put this little new rule in that you have to have 2
Primaries.
primaries, so people don't, if there's nobody, that has a challenge in the primary, a lot of people stay home. But they put that in there intentionally so they can weed out more of the good people
Right.
that vote practically a straight Republican
Right.
ticket.
I'm going to be excited in Madison County, and I'm actually very excited about this May 5th, Cinco de Mayo election year, because I'm going to be interested if we have more people come out than ever for this movement, because I know a lot of people are watching, and there's a lot of people wanting me to win this seat, because it will be a huge upset in Madison County if I win this seat. If we do have a large number that come out and I still lose, we get to show they're really manipulating that. I mean, we honestly do.
Right.
And that's the whole thing, people, that you have to understand. Yes, as one of my patients says, Catherine is about as subtle as a hand grenade, right? But she is a master strategist. And that's kind of what I do. I just sit around and I'm like, okay, well, you want to play that game, you go play your checkers, and I'll stay over here and play chess. And that's how it has to be. And like, you guys are doing the same thing. You're playing chess with people who play checkers. Eventually, you will win, right? Me losing the auditor's race wasn't a loss. You know why it wasn't a loss? The auditor filed a $500,000 personal bankruptcy in March of 2024, right? And the election was in May of 2024. So you just gave the person your checkbook, and yet he can't even do his personal finances, right? So make that make sense. I mean, why would we want the girl who's an entrepreneur, who kept her doors open through COVID, who, continues to build or practice all, what she does? So you go through this process, he goes ahead and he wins, and he says, well, I'm gonna put everything online so everybody can see all the money. Has that happened?
No.
It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, these are the things that, you sit around and you point out. This is what I tell people. If they want to vote for my opponent, knock yourself out, right? You people don't complain to me about affordable health care. Don't complain about insurance, none of that. Because you're voting in a senator who makes a living off of selling insurance. Why would you want him in seat right now? Wouldn't you want the girl in seat who's like, wait, I can tell you the price of those things, I can tell you how much insurance is, and you're ripping the people off. If I was able to write my bill on that, when you guys pay your premiums, that goes into a bank. Anytime you have to get anything, any type of health care, that money comes out of that bank. And if you exceed it, then okay, we'll start to look at deductibles. But if you meet your deductible paying in that bank, that's all good. I mean, and that's how it should be. It should not be this craziness of I'm paying you monthly or weekly or however you're doing it, but then you have to pay me a crazy amount of money on top of what you're paying me. I mean, it's kind of like extortion, because you can't live without the insurance, and then I have to pay even more premiums on top of that after I'm paying you every month. What is wrong with people? I would never, ever vote
Now,
for
wait a
that.
minute, you're assuming that Rod Bray, if you were in that position, that he would allow that legislation to move forward.
No.
Well, there's a problem there, okay, that's
Yeah.
another issue.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think everybody saw, even off of my morning thing this morning, I will move heaven and earth to make sure justice is served.
Mhm.
Like I will put so much information out there.
You will be their worst nightmare.
I will call voters to pack those rooms. That's the only way to get this done. I mean, it's really, the power has always been in the voter, but we got to get the voters to the polls.
So if you get your person to the poll, or you get their person elected, and they go into a committee, and that committee head and you got the most wonderful bill, which we have, my senator has a great bill.
Yes.
2 years, they have not brought it out of the committee, and it's dead on arrival, basically. And if it's not the committee person, it's Rod Gray, who's the pro tem in the Senate side. And we had a function last Friday, had a couple of, candidates running and so forth and talking about this. We never got the question answered is, how do you get rid of the pro tem?
So here's the bottom line. And I hear you guys, and I try to always look at the glass half full. You have to rally the troops, and that's the voters.
Yeah.
You have to pack these rooms, and you need to make them look at that. That's what you have to do. You have to put so much information out there that you're bringing all 92 counties together as one, and that they're packing the state house where there's nowhere to even stand in the room, that it's so busy in there that the fire marshal has to come in and close down the building because this is how mad the voters are, that they've had enough. And that's what I have to hope for in this election. This election, I have to say, people are sick of it. People are tired of it. That we're going to have more and more people at the polls because they just don't want to do it this way anymore. And so that's the thing. The only way the cycle gets broken is for the people to show up.
What about property tax? I was up there. Everybody was packing the state house. What happened?
Okay, but let me tell you,
Okay.
who has the advantage now? The voters.
Yes.
If you are pissed off about your property taxes, you should be going around for the next 7 days, getting anybody you can registered to vote, and vote these people out of office. That is the only way to get around this. And here's the thing. I'm putting myself out there. I'm giving the people a candidate. I'm giving the people an opportunity, right? And that's why I say to you guys, run for any seat you want. I mean, just put your name in there.
I won my race. I got thrown out.
Well,
how does that work?
Right? Go
How does
back.
that work?
Keep going back.
I
That's what I do.
will.
I just keep coming back, right? Because what do we know? Like we tell our kids, it's how you get back up,
Yes.
right? It's not about, am I going to stay over here and suppress? I mean, Michelle Daniels, who was the president of the county election board, she replaced Russ Willis, and she believes that she is some mastermind. When we won the coroner's office, she said, now that you've won, you have to kiss the ring. Let me tell you something. Katherine is not taking a knee for anyone, and she certainly is not kissing the ring.
Did they want you to sign a non-disclosure
Well,
agreement too?
I mean, that's about how they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just never going to happen, right?
No.
And let me ask you this.
Who's holding the ring?
That was Russ Willis at the time. And you don't even have to kneel for him. He's so short. But at the end of the day, let me ask you if this is a Republican in good standing. So you have a Republican team that ran by themselves because the Republican Party, even though we run in the primary, still couldn't get behind us and support us in the primary. We were running against a Democrat family who'd had it for decades. They still don't get behind you. You win by 8,000 votes as a Republican, and you're independent so I've never been part of their plan. So, I mean, and then, we win this seat and we're supposed to take the seat January 1, right? So the last week in December, our Republican chair calls all 7 county council members and says, do not give them any money in the coroner's office.
What?
Is that a Republican in good standing?
No.
Do you ever see anybody stand up and say, you've got your own Republican people sabotaging the Republican coroners coming in? And here's the newsflash. They never had a doctor in that seat. They've never had medical people in that seat. And nobody has a problem with that. Now, here's the thing. I stood at that podium. I was gavelled. I've been walked out by the sheriff. You name it, it's happened, right? But here's the thing. We only had like $250,000. We didn't have enough money. We were in the middle of a pandemic. They gave us no CARES Act money, no ARPA money. We're the office that should have gotten the most of it.
Yes.
We got none of it, right? Not a dime of it. And here's the thing. Let's fast forward 6 years. That budget is over $600,000 now. They have 2 new vehicles because they put in who they wanted, and you'll never see that coroner come to a council meeting. But why would he? He's getting everything he asked for. And this has nothing to do against the current coroner in seat. This has nothing to do with Adam Matson. It has to do with, I got to show how broken the process is. The person who's the problem is the Republican Party that's in place. And nobody has a problem with this. I would
When are they
actually,
gonna stop taking their orders? And when is one gonna start waking up and say, this doesn't seem right? Do they have no?
they have no backbone. They're so afraid of each other that they're unwilling to do this. The reason why, so when Russ got, and they did send that on to the state police, and he did get investigated with a special prosecutor, but guess what? Even though he was wrong, he'll face no charges. Now, why do you think he'll face no charges? Let me tell you why he will face no charges. Because he has so much dirt on every single one of them that they're too afraid that he'll come forward and say, okay, well, if I'm going down, I'm taking all of you with me. That's why they let this stuff go on. And you know what? How shameful is that? How shameful. These are attorneys, prosecutors, attorneys, law officers. You took an oath. And somehow the oath doesn't apply to elected servants? It's craziness.
The cast vote records, you would have found out, you would have been able to find out, did you really lose by 500? You know, because their cry was, well, that's personal information. No, it's not,
Right.
No.
because there's nobody's name attached.
Right.
It's just how did this person vote?
Right.
You know, and the cast vote record was taken away. And then for 22 months, now they've got it to where
It's
it's
34.
34.
Mhm.
They're working on increasing it. A couple of guys in our area have been working on that. So,
Retaining the records for 34
retaining,
months.
yeah, retaining the records. They're still not letting us, and talk about, how many times have you tried to get information from a FOIA request?
Oh, you go,
Oh,
They don't give them to you.
they block you, they don't give it to you. I got one pending right now again.
now do you know, you can go on and file that with, down in, at the state.
Public access,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty worthless.
yeah, it is.
We
I
know,
agree, we
but
know.
but here's the
Just
thing.
rubies in
Yes,
that position.
But here's the thing, you have to do it to show how far the process is broken.
Yes.
That's why you have to do it. And that's what I tell people. You have to do it to show. You have to challenge these things to show that the process is broken for people like us. But it's not broken if you're on the inner circle. And that's why we do it. Because the more times this happens, I'm telling you, we gain more and more followers.
It is.
And that's the goal, right? That's the goal, to gain more and more voters.
Have you found though, when you send in these requests, that they're playing the role of victim? You're harassing me. How dare you ask me questions?
That was today. Today was that for me. You're harassing me. That's voter intimidation. Blah, 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 blah. You're the one that started it. I'm just responding.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
Just answer the question.
Let's see the record. We want
Yeah.
to see it. It's
Yeah.
public record.
And that's the
Well,
whole
that
thing.
thing public is probably not it, because you're not getting them.
No, right. Yes, exactly.
But there are certain things that you can go, like I like to go in. If I go in, I go on Facebook Live when I go after something, and I've taught many of other constituents to do that. I love the people of Madison County because they're like, yep, we'll go in there and put it on live. And you go in there and they're like, oh, we have it, but you can't see it. Or, you know what, it's gonna be $1 per page. Well, that's criminal. I can't do more than 10 cents a page.
Exactly.
But those are the kind of things that we have to do, and we have to really stand strong together. And, it's gonna take more than just us.
Well, guess what? If he has to go down and get a FOIA request from the clerk is the one who called the sheriff on him. Is that not?
Now, are you on Facebook Live when you do this?
I am not.
I would not put this on Spectacle.
Well, I understand it.
Let's make them all famous.
Yes, we record.
I
Yeah.
don't care what you do. Do it live.
Right,
Do it in real time.
right. I'll have another police escort again.
And here's the thing. Now you will have the ability for an ACLU violation.
Well,
We
tried.
tried that too.
Listen.
And they're ignoring us.
And you know
If we had
what?
a gay parade or something in Lagodi,
You keep doing
Okay.
more, and you keep doing more, and you keep doing more until it gets to the point where more people look at you and they're getting disgusted by it. So they start to step up to the plate. There's some great candidates running this election cycle, and they're running because they've been watching what's been happening to the process, not just with me, but
Oh,
with
no.
other
Yes.
constituents too.
yes.
And that's what you want to happen, right?
Right.
And so,
they're tired of it.
it's a movement.
It is.
You're moving the people, right? And that's what I hope I've done. I hope I have moved the people. And here's the thing. Somebody said to me yesterday in my office, they're like, you're running for office, like you think you can make a change? You think you can make a difference?
Well, yes.
I mean, have you not seen this county and how corrupt it is? Here's my answer. Catherine's already won, right? How many people can say that their GOP was removed because of my persistence? not many, but we could say it in Madison County, right? And it wasn't just me. It was a group of concerned citizens, and never underestimate that made all the difference. And he's never coming back. It's like Ding Dong, the witch is dead, right? He's never coming back to that seat because he was so evil, and people know that. And I don't really care because, you know what? You want to say that this is slander for me calling him evil? Prove to me that he wasn't. That's on you. Prove to me that the things that he has done, when you have state troopers and other people who are having sidebar conversations at the bar drinking and saying Russ Willis has done more things that he should have gone to jail for, but we were told to stand down and look the other way, but yet they won't go on record. It's despicable, it's disgusting, and it's gross.
We understand.
You know?
Deja vu.
Exactly. And so I'm going to continue to keep moving it forward until, you know what? At some point, we've taken all the oxygen away from them, right? And we've given the oxygen to who matters the most, and that's the people.
Yes.
Right?
Bring the ethics back to it.
Absolutely. They're all morally and ethically bankrupt.
I agree with you.
They
Yes.
are ethically and morally bankrupt.
My dad, he's been gone a long time, but he was so involved in the Republican Party, and that's the way I grew up, and I didn't see it any other way. And he got me involved in being precinct committeeman and he took me door to door, introduced me, and I became a precinct committeeman, and that's how it started. And I was also a vice in a different county when I was younger, and I'm like, we did not have these kind of discussions. It just, to me, it just happened in the early, 2022, maybe the session before, I don't know, but it's just like all of a sudden, there's nothing but corruption within inside the party, and it's Democrat too.
Right.
It's both sides.
Right.
And it's, why?
Well, even our paper in Madison
Oh,
County.
well,
right?
It was on the front page yesterday.
That's what I mean. It's like craziness, right?
And it's about this big in our town. It's like this.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing I don't
We've gone down, they only publish 5 days a week
Yeah.
instead of 7 days a week. And, people call it the rag, and they've got all kinds of names for it. A lot of people ask me, I just said, quit getting the paper if you want to do anything.
Yes, you're right.
So, we look at the paper, but I look at the paper as documentation, right? Because it gives me, again, another platform. I enjoy that platform. And here's what else I get to tell the paper. I get more views than your paper has subscribers.
That's it.
That's a win, right?
That's it.
And that's what the real win is. The real win is no matter what happens to us moving forward, we are educating millions of people,
Yes.
right? We're not just educating a small town. We're not educating one county. We're educating 92. I have a lot. Listen, we only have 129,000 residents in Madison County. I get 4 million views. That means the whole state, in some county, at least one person is watching my page. And that's what this is all about, right?
Yes.
Is that if I can't win, if I don't win, and I say can't because we all know that we've got some machine problems
Right.
and some morally and ethical bankrupt people handling all this stuff. We've won because we've left things much better for the next generation to piggyback on this, to come in and say,
Get it back
remember
home.
when,
Mhm.
and they get to use our platforms to get them on board too.
Because right now in the Republican Party, and they have their young Republicans, they want to maneuver them in the direction that they want to. They don't want to be free thinkers.
Right.
But they need somebody to take the flyers out,
Yeah.
and use them.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a great opportunity, like right now, because people are so upset over nepotism. Like they have this big problem with
Yes.
nepotism, right? Well, you're the voter, right? You're the voter. Gaskell's whole family is involved in this. So here's your opportunity to say we've had enough with nepotism. We're not voting for you. Here's the thing: if you don't want to vote for me, then don't vote for Gaskell. Just leave that spot blank. You don't have to fill it in.
That's it.
Right?
Skip it.
Send the message. I mean, I was looking at some of the counts, and I don't know, they had 10,000 voters, right? And some races only had a total of 5,000 people vote. I mean, if I was an elected official, I would actually kind of be hurt by that because there's 5,000 people that can't even vote for me because they have no confidence.
Right.
To me, that says that's a vote of no confidence.
Larissa Sweet had a wonderful bill on
On election integrity.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it was so good. One of them, just part of it was the night of when they count the ballots, have a camera on them.
Well, and that's what I said. So now, this whole thing happened with Russ Willis. Now they have a TV prompter out in the hallway, and you get to stand there and watch on the TV prompter. But it goes around a corner. You can't see the full view.
I mean, pull down the shades.
But they've met the basic requirements of letting you. Now, can they loop the video? Well, sure they can. How would we know? Right? I mean, can they take it offline and then change what they've done on the video? Absolutely, we know that. I mean, everybody watches TV, you know what technology is made of, especially with AI, right? But again, what do the people do? They reward bad behavior by voting these people in, right? How many times do we have to hear, but they're nice people?
Oh,
Okay,
right.
that doesn't mean they're good people.
No, well, it
I
doesn't
mean,
mean they're not gonna work for you,
And
they're gonna
that's-
work for themselves.
Absolutely.
That's what we have going on, well, all over the state too, with the IECD. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like Indiana Economic, yeah.
Development Corporation.
Yeah, and they are
Money laundering.
money laundering in front of everybody's face, and they're kind of starting to wake up, because we talk about it a
Well,
lot.
our friend filed suit against the IEDC. Barbara is her
Mhm.
first name, okay. And so all of this is being exposed because people were ignorant about what that organization's been doing for several
Decades.
administrations.
Mhm.
Yes,
And everybody, nobody knew it.
right.
I mean, it's just like, oh, we're helping the growth, and then I sent him something yesterday that I just saw that Toyota had hiring a lot of people in our area, and that's what, and he responded like, this is the way it's supposed to work, not by taking tax money
Right.
and put it in a private entity, and you don't know anything about it, and then they're getting a big, heavy,
They're looking
back
at
pocket, back
Mhm.
pocket, the bank account.
When you come in and you leave a millionaire,
something
it's a
was
problem.
there.
That's-
Yes.
yeah.
It's a problem.
Even come in poor and leave a millionaire, but they still have that, whatever the income is to be the senator or the congressperson, but, it is a joke.
It is.
It's
It
a
is.
sad joke because, they're using that position to make themselves better, not the people.
Right.
They're not listening. They didn't listen through redistricting, they didn't listen through taxes, property taxes,
Any of it.
they don't listen.
But that is the fault of the voters. If you're gonna reward their bad behavior, their devious ways, then elections have consequences and you get what you get. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I'm not letting the voters off. The voters play a role in this just as much as we do.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
guarantee you, the corruption, they make sure their entire families are out voting. They drive them. They make sure they're all registered to vote. And that's the difference. We don't do that. We don't do enough to get our families out there and have them voting. And, some may do it, but we need everybody to do it to make the difference.
Mhm.
I hear you.
You know?
I hear you. I hear
And
you.
so, it is what it is when it comes down to certain things, but the voters have all the power. They have an opportunity to speak. They have an opportunity to push back and say no more, but they've got to get them to the polls. We can only knock on so many doors.
That's right.
They've got to knock on them too.
That's it. That's, in a nutshell, that's it, right? Because we are all under, and like you said, we're still Republicans. We're better Republicans than the ones that I know that are in the Central Committee. So, or any state committee.
Sure.
'Cause
And it's just like Lana Kiesling, right? Who Lana Kiesling
Yeah,
is,
she won't
right?
return my calls, by
Yeah.
the way.
Uh,
Yes.
And that's not uncommon.
No, right.
She does the same thing for us too. Us common people, she doesn't have time, right? And I'm telling you right now, the old ways aren't going to continue.
No.
This is all going to come to an end.
Mhm.
It's going to crash and burn. At some point, it's going to crash and burn. And, I even have an email that says the Women's Republican Party has nothing to do with the political organization of the Republican Party. And Kelly Ewer still was like, no, Catherine cannot attend the women's. And you know what amazes me? What amazes me even more is you want women to be more involved,
Absolutely. No.
nothing
I'm
towards
not
you,
offended. I'm not
right?
offended, or whatever.
right? You want younger people to be involved.
Mhm.
And it's so disgusting and gross to see a GOP chair behave like this. And you know what? Here's the thing. They're going to criticize me because I'm too critical of them.
Yes.
Catherine isn't critical of them.
Mhm.
Your actions made you critical of yourself. So let's deflect to Catherine. No. Catherine's just pointing out your gross and disgusting behavior. You need to go own that. right? If you weren't behaving this way, I wouldn't have a platform to speak on. So when they want to point things to me and say it's my fault or I did this or I'm critical of them, here's the thing. Why don't you try to be honest and true? And then I won't have to be so critical.
I think who's above them, who's actually driving the car.
Which is even worse.
Our agentic chair is driving it in our area.
Yeah. And the fact that they're all buying into this,
They do.
right?
They do.
There's more
Lockstep.
voters than there are of these people. So why aren't we getting people to the polls in droves and voting these people out?
Exactly. I agree. I'm on your
mean,
bandwagon with you.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean, the most important race in Madison County is the elected clerk seat. If we, because we have a Republican who is challenging Linda Smith and we have a Democrat who is, that whole seat is contested. If Linda Smith does not win, which I'm praying that she does not win, we will finally have transparent elections. Either one of those people who win that are contesting her, they're gonna bust it wide open. So what are the chances of them winning? Well, they have control of the machines. They violate our canvassing rights all the time. So it's gonna be hard. I mean, it's just it's gonna be hard. But here's the thing, like I said to them, they all say, well, I go to church and I'm a God-fearing person. Well, that's great. You better go over there and pray for your soul. Because at some point, they're going to have to answer to a higher power.
Yes.
They're going to get caught cheating. Eventually, your luck runs out. And that's kind of how I look at this is if we give them enough rope, they might be able to like hog tie themselves.
Well, we need same-day voting.
I agree with you on that. I'm getting more and more on that. And somebody asked, because they're wanting to shorten the voting and they're wanting to do all this stuff. I wondered why we couldn't have a 24-hour vote day.
Why
Like
can't
those
it
for
be
a
a
full 24
holiday?
hours.
So
Holiday,
people
shut
don't work.
work down, yes.
Yeah, but see, as healthcare people, we work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's why you could do it on a holiday, plus you could do it 24 hours, right?
Or do an
And so-
absentee ballot.
Yeah, and so those people, you can come in and you can go out and we can get all the different shifts that people are pulling doubles. Now, here's an interesting thought process because we have a large number of people in our county. So say you two are husband and wife, and okay, if you have spouses, I'm like not stirring the pot here. So say you guys are husband and wife and you go to the polls together and we see your vote come through. But you go to look and yours isn't there. You're like, I know it is because we always go to vote together. We have several of these instances,
We know,
right?
we know.
So what's that make you wonder?
Mhm.
Are they switching out the flash drives? Because you'd be on two different machines, right? You'd be on two different machines. So that means, did we change your flash drive, but we didn't change yours? So I tell people, after the voting is done and election day is over, you need to get on there right away because we have a 10-day window. You need to get on there. You need to keep the little receipt that you were there. If they won't give you a receipt, take a picture of your
I'm
ballot.
gonna say, I've also taken pictures and they'll say you can't do that.
Yes,
Well,
I am.
absolutely. So, and this is what and I have educated Madison County, they're real great about that. They can take the video while they're in the polls. They just can't take it of anybody else. They can keep it on their machine. They can keep it on them. They can do all that. There is no violation to that. And I'm like, call me if they're having problems with that because you can absolutely have all that. You can take a picture of anything you want and you can share any of that you want on social media, right? So, because it's yours, you just can't do it to somebody else. So we have to encourage people how to think smarter and act smarter in order to beat the corruption. And that's what we're doing. We're just educating the community to do that and to not give up.
That's it.
That's it.
And so it's kind of an interesting, situation that we're in.
Well, it has been interesting for several years for us. But
Because they've made us leaders now,
yeah, that's right.
right? Leaders in our own movement.
We have.
That's it.
They developed the movement,
Right.
not us.
Right.
You gave us a platform.
We're just standing.
That's
Well,
what
it is.
I'm saying. You gave us a platform. They made this.
That's it.
Don't deflect on me. I didn't make this.
That's it.
I would listen. If I had a Catherine in my life, or if I had a Catherine and I was the GOP who was running, I'd be all about it. I mean, that's what's amazing to me. I have one of the highest levels of education as a candidate who's running. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a free thinker. And the Republican Party doesn't want me.
Oh, no.
I mean, make that make sense.
They want some sheep in there.
That's exactly what they want. And that's not gonna be me,
No.
right? I told them I'm gonna change my name from Dr. Callahan, nurse practitioner, to Dr. Obvious. That's gonna be my new name, right? So that's the whole thing. I mean, we could go on for days with the amount of corruption that's out there, but I'll never say that I'm a Republican in bad standing. I am a Republican who is an independent thinker, who is in great standing for the people.
Yes.
That's it.
Right? I am in a great position because now what can they do?
Nothing.
I mean, if you come and say I violated things while I'm not part of the Republican Party, can you really apply those laws to me?
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
If I stand up today and I say, all these Democrats are who you're supposed to, am I a Republican bad standing? I'm not part of your party. I don't have to follow your rules. You just gave me a free ticket. That's it. I mean, think about that.
That's it.
Right? And so I kind of sit back and I think to myself, what other gifts would you people like to give me? Because here's a newsflash. There was nobody in that women's club that was going to vote for me in the first place. So I didn't lose out.
No.
There's nobody in these Republican parties pretty much that are going to vote for me that's part of this cartel. Right? So I'm not losing anything and I get to keep my money. Right?
That's true.
And let's go back to the auditor's race in 24 when I was running for auditor. So like I told you, that family filed $500,000, right? They owned a campground coming out of COVID. They should have been pretty wealthy because not a lot of people were, right?
So,
It was a KOA. It had a KOA on it, right? So they go through all this and, he becomes the auditor and he's all excited. I lost by 500 votes, right? But here's the thing. He stated that he spent $60,000 on the election. Now, if I was a judge who just signed off on their bankruptcy, I'd be like, oh, hold up.
Wait a minute.
Bring that back here. How did you go and spend $60,000 on that election? And how were you able to loan yourself so much money, but you couldn't pay the public? And here's another news flash. The other news flash is, who do you think is on the hook for that bankruptcy? Where?
Right.
Right.
Well, and you people
that's
put them in seats?
They keep taking our tax money to do what they want to do with it. So
I mean, that's what's so crazy. And then he wins auditor, right? And he's on there, and his property taxes are delinquent. And then he goes on there, and he's like, oh, like this is a real crime because I owe my property taxes? Well, you know what? That's pretty insulting because it's those property taxes that pays everybody's salaries in our
Yes.
government, right? And nobody has a problem with this?
Victimization there.
I mean, this is the part where I think to myself, is the world gone mad? I mean, these are your role models? Is this who you want to
That's
say?
unbelievable.
I mean, that's what kills me the most with all of this is that put it all together. These are not nice people. These are not good people. These are people who manipulate you, manipulate the system, because if they had to go in the real world and have a real job,
oh, I
they
know.
wouldn't
right.
survive.
That's right.
This is why they're in government, because they can't be fired if they're an elected official.
Well, they
Right?
can be if they people don't vote for them, but that's
Well,
the
and
way.
that's the thing, and they can be fired if the people quit voting for them,
Right.
right? And so when I hear people say to me, well, I just vote for the person who has the most signs up. What? I'll hear that at the polls. When I'm sitting at the polls, I'm going, oh. Or they'll say, I just voted for the person with the prettiest signs. Or they'll say, I've done my civic duty today. Your civic duty is 365 days a year. Your civic duty is to go to these meetings and find out where this money's being. It's more than just going and casting a vote. Your civic duty, once you cast that vote, is to make sure that the person you voted for kept their word. I would expect if I'm in seat and I've not done something, you two are like, yeah, come on back on the show because we got questions for you.
There you go.
And I would expect to answer those, right?
Exactly.
That's what I would want. And so tell me when these people get up and they say, I'm going to have to answer to the people at some point, so I need to do a good job. I get up every day in my own private practice, and the first thing I do is pray in the morning. I pray that I don't kill somebody. I pray that I don't harm somebody.
Right.
I pray that God gives me the strength and the wisdom to do an accurate diagnosis and do what's right by the patients. That's what I pray for every day. Right?
But you have integrity.
And that's something that the voters seem to forget with a lot of these officials, right? And these servants, and that's my whole big thing. You never see them come to meetings. you never see them speak on behalf of the people. I mean, I have been at meetings. I don't care if it was the sheriff's department who couldn't get raises. I don't care if it was the fire department who didn't get what they needed from Senate Bill 1. I come to these meetings and speak on behalf of their departments all the time. And why does it affect me? Because it affects one of my neighbors.
What the problem with the meetings too is that they have them scheduled at times when people are working, and that's done intentional.
Right.
And we've gone to a lot of meetings there. It's already set in stone what they're gonna do before they get there.
Yeah, they're having meetings, which is illegal,
Right.
We know that.
behind closed doors.
Right, and then and like I said, they're either at 12 noon, or they're at 3 in the afternoon, or there's only one that's at 5:30, but then you gotta get people off
Well,
work.
county council is the only one, it's at 6 o'clock, but it's a struggle to get over there at
Right,
6 o'clock.
right. So we want you back on the
Yes.
show.
I'll suck the oxygen right out
I
of it.
love the
The energy. there.
energy. I
love
knew you
this.
had it. I knew you had it, because I thought this. She's just like us, Kim. We gotta get her on.
We gotta get her, yes.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for having me out and letting us speak. And on behalf of Madison County and the other 2 townships in Hamilton County, Jackson Township and White River, who I'm trying to win those seats, I speak on behalf of them. Thank you for letting us be on your map in Madison County. Because this is the only way we're gonna get you
That's
That's
changed,
it.
right?
That's it.
We love your stance. We love what you're doing, and we want you to win.
Well, this is gonna be an interesting race.
Well, we watch
And
it.
it's gonna get a lot hotter
It's gonna
in
be
the next 40 days.
Right.
A lot hotter.
well.
Nice.
Call us if you have any questions, or you want some more support by another interview, or
We're there
whatever.
for you.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah,
We're there.
well, I thank you so much. Everything's great.
You're
So thank you
quite
for
welcome.
having me.
You're quite
It's
welcome.
been my
We'll
pleasure.
see you the next time.
Then I just gotta turn off my. Get a random battery.